Alright, welcome back to another video. What's up? Glad you're here. Today we're talking about the Trinity of lenses. What is the Trinity of lenses? This three-piece kit that makes your workflow better no matter if you're shooting photos or videos, and no matter what type of photographer or videographer you are, it covers a wide focal range of shooting almost anything. Alright, what is the Trinity of lenses? They are the 15 to 35, the 24 to 70, and the 70 to 200 millimeter lenses. So you've got your focal range covered from compressed, zoom, to that ultra wide angle. So if you're wondering, what lens should I buy? What should I add to my kit? There's some options. There's different prices depending on which type of lens you get. There's different types of photography that you might use this lens for that you might not use this lens for. You'll get a different shot with this lens than you'll get with this lens. So on the wide end, the 15 to 35 millimeter lens, this is the one I will use all the time for vlogging, for most of my video work, for wide landscape shots. You get this for architecture, travel videos, or even portraits. You might not think of a wide angle lens as a portrait lens, but using a 24 millimeter or 35 millimeter, you can get some creative portraits with this. This is a very versatile lens and it covers a fairly wide range from 15 to 35 millimeters, and I've used it a whole lot more than the other lenses. The 24 to 70 f2.8 is in the middle. It kind of reaches both ends. You can get some wider shots at 24 millimeter, but you can also get some nice portraits at 50 millimeter or closer to 70 millimeter for nice compressed shots. And it's great for almost everything. With the 15 to 35, you can do quite a bit. At the widest you're gonna get with this is a 24 millimeter. It's a great all-around lens. Pretty much anything you might be shooting, you can use this lens. Photos, videos, wide shots, zoomed in shots. It's almost a do everything lens for the everyday shooter. So if you don't know what you might be shooting, this lens will cover a wide mid-range for anything that you might encounter. Now the 70 to 200 lens is a telephoto zoom lens, which is great for wildlife, nature, getting closer in to see details. You can stay away from the wildlife and get a closer shot with a telephoto lens like this than you can with a 15 to 35 millimeter lens. You're spooking everything, you're trying to take a picture, and everything's running away because you're just too close. Now this lens is a popular choice for sports photography, for events, for weddings where you don't want to be in the middle of the action dodging people. You can just step back away from the action and get those shots from across the room or farther away. So you'll have to decide, depending on what type of photography that you do or what kind of video that you are shooting, as to which lens you will need. You may want to get the 24 to 70 for on-the-go shoots, but you may want to get the 70 to 200 for interviews and detail shots and sports shoots. Now these lenses are all the 2.8 version. They're very fast. The aperture is a lot wider, giving you much better focal blur or background separation from what you are shooting. They are also larger than the f4 versions as well. They are heavier and more monies. These are all 2.8 lenses that I have here. You can get all these lenses for much less if you get the f4 versions of these lenses. You can go that route. So if you're on a budget and you still want to get this whole range in your camera kit, then you can get the f4 version or find some aftermarket lenses that will fit your camera to save you quite a bit if you have a smaller budget or you're just starting out into photography or videography. It doesn't matter whatever camera brand that you shoot on, they will all have something similar to these in the lens choices. They may not have a 15 to 35 millimeter lens. It may be a 16 or maybe a 17 to 28 or something, but you're gonna find that there's a wide lens, a medium range lens, and a telephoto lens all around in that range up to 200 millimeter. While these three lenses cover a wide range of photography, the cool thing is that you're covered for pretty much everything from vlogging to getting nature shots of birds or other wildlife, landscape photos, travel photography. Whatever type of photography you do, this three-piece kit will cover all of them. As a beginner photographer, intermediate photographer, whether you're amateur photographer, hobbyist photographer, this is a kit that you'll want to at least plan on having in your setup at some point that covers a wide range for whatever you're shooting, wherever you're shooting. And all of these lenses go for videography as well. Like I mentioned, this 15 to 35 millimeter is my most used lens for video work. It's wide for vlogging shots, but also goes to 35 millimeter to get some nice shots that don't have that wide look to them with the warping edges. Then switch to the 70 to 200 for B-roll or close-ups for detailed shots, and put the 24-70 on a second camera and maybe get a second angle, or for getting that mid-range covered if you need that. You could put one of these lenses on your camera. You only need 2 other lens spots in your bag, so when you're shooting wide shots and you need to get some telephoto shots quickly, you just switch this out and you've got a nice 3-lens setup to cover whatever type of videography you are filming. So it's cool having the whole range covered with each of these lenses. They each have a specific place in photography and videography. So if you're a photographer, this is a kit you should plan on getting unless you have a specific type of photography. You only have maybe a certain lens for like shooting wildlife photography. Maybe you only use a 70-200 or a 400mm or a 600mm. Those are lenses that you'll need specifically for that type of photography. But for the majority of photographers and videographers, this kit covers mostly everything, and it's a great kit to have. So yeah, the Trinity of lenses will always be the Trinity of lenses. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and check out one of these videos if you want to see more on any of these lenses that I have here. I have videos on each of these specific lenses on my channel that you can check out. Be sure to check those out here, and I'll see you in the next one. Yeah, okay, bye.